All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. I was gonna say good morning again, but it's afternoon. Good afternoon, and welcome to our webinar for today. For those that do not know me, my name is Dr. Kitiana Lowe. I go by Dr. K, and I'm the Director of Programs and Events here at Webeck ORV. And the workshop that we are bringing to you today is actually going to be a really great information session for you all to learn about the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. And so this has been a really great program that some of our WBEs have already participated in, and you'll get a chance to hear from them as well. But before we jump in, I always like to take a moment to introduce our team, just in case you aren't familiar with them. So our interim president and CEO is Chuck Hendricks. Our COO is Dr. Frederica Singletary. Our fractional CFO is Jackie Jordan. And our Senior Director of Marketing, Communications, and Engagement is Courtney Martin. And then our certification team, who I'm sure you're all very familiar with, is led by our certification director, Colleen Rudisill, our certification manager, Robbie Moore, and we have a new certification specialist who's working with us on a contracted basis, Anita Steele. And then our corporate engagement manager is Devin Davis. And our administrative assistant, who was she was a contractor, but she's just recently come on full time. So we're excited to have Morgan McDonald with us full time because we could not do anything without Miss Morgan. So we are a mighty and ever growing team who work diligently to do all things for our WBEs and corporates in regards to certification, programs, events, and everything else that we can do for you. So I want to take a quick moment and introduce our speakers who you'll be hearing from today. And so Sarah Allen is the director of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. And then you will also be hearing from Vanessa Sanchez, will be monitoring the chat for us as well. And she's the program manager. So Sarah and Vanessa, would you like to come off mute and go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Sure. So I'm Sarah Allen. I'm the director here at the program, and I've been here almost 2 years now. Vanessa?
Hi, everyone. My name is Vanessa Sanchez, and I'm the program manager here at the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business. And I've been exactly 8 months. Yeah, 8 months.
Oh, yay. Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're glad to have her. So I'm going to just get started. This is kind of what we're going over today is who we are as a program, 10,000 Small Businesses, quick overview, curriculum, logistics, why this program is impactful, and then how you apply. And then at the end, we're going to have a little time to hear from a couple of our alum and our business advisor to kind of talk about why they really think this program is a great fit for a lot of businesses as they're looking to grow. And then we'll have a few minutes there for question and answers. So let's get started. So 10,000 Small Businesses has been around since 2009 about. So Goldman Sachs decided they wanted to invest in small businesses, knowing the big impact that small businesses have in our economy. And so to that end, their foundation partnered with Babson College, who's the nation's leader in entrepreneurship education out of Massachusetts, and they developed the curriculum. And then ICIC is our other national partner who helps us with the outreach portion. So kind of bringing folks in and letting them know why this program is so great and how to apply smoothly. And so their goal originally was to reach 10,000 small businesses, but they've actually almost 17,000 now have gone through the program, which is pretty amazing. So quick overview of the program. So in a nutshell, we provide, so actually the other day someone said to me, the best way to describe this program, and I agree, I think is you get a mini MBA in your own business. So you are doing real world education on your business that you can then apply to help grow your business. So it's pretty great program. And so beyond the education, we also provide pathways to capital by connecting you with different banks, economic development organizations, et cetera, as well as connecting you with the broader business support services. So again, other economic development organizations, state and local funders and organizations. So we really help you with that networking. And to me, one of the best things is the peer-to-peer learning. So you're in a cohort of up to 40 businesses, and those, as Lamonda and Pauline will be able to share. You keep those relationships within your cohort and then also with the other alum. But it's approximately 100. It says online. I don't know why that says online, but it's a curriculum that includes accounting, negotiating, marketing, and employee management. And in the end, you walk away with a detailed 5-year growth plan that you've worked on with whoever you're paired with as a business advisor. And in this case, in many cases, Sheila Mixon, who you'll hear from in a little bit, is our Cincinnati-based business advisor. And a lot of you already know her as being very much a part of Webeck Orv over the years. This is just a quick map of our reach. So again, we're in 17 sites, education sites, and there's some capital sites as well. And then there's also a national cohort that is mostly online. They do meet in person for part of it, but that's for those areas that aren't close enough to do in person because our classes are in person here at Cincinnati State. And I'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. So overall, I think one of the best things about this is, I mean, there's a lot of great things, but it is delivered at no cost to you. So that's an amazing feature. So if you get in, and so we have about 150 businesses apply each year, and last year we had 31 that went through. So it is selective, but if you get in, there's no cost to you. Now, your give back though is that dedication to coming every week, which you'll see the schedule in a minute, for a full day once a week, basically for 13 weeks, January through April. So it is, but we see that, and many businesses will say that's an investment in your business. So again, that's our cohort from last year. Lamond is in there somewhere, and Congressman Greg Landsman was there. So we also we have a public policy arm called 10,000 Voices or 10KSB Voices. And so they do a lot of policy kind of advocating at the state and federal level for small business legislation. So you can also, if that's something of interest to you, you can be a part of that. Next slide. And so this kind of shows an overview of the curriculum and kind of the rhythm of it. There's definitely a deep dive into finances. You'll see their money metrics, financial statements, but we also have things like negotiations. We bring in someone from the Wharton Business School who is a kind of premier person in negotiations, and she comes in and people always love that class, and she teaches a class there on how to do that. We also knew last year that we added was a legal clinic. So we did that with Taft, and you get an afternoon there with the lawyers, some of the lawyers from Taft, and hearing from them and getting some advice from them as well. So lots of great information, again, with the goal of always working on your growth plan. All this feeds into your growth plan for your business. So it's kind of, and then you work online outside of when you're in class, you're also working on your own growth plan in a kind of digital platform, and your business advisor would help you with that. This is a little small. We can send it out to folks. This is our schedule for next year. We are actually going to be doing Wednesdays. Normally we've been doing Fridays, but this year because of scheduling, we're doing Wednesdays. So you'll kind of see it's most Wednesdays mid-January through mid-April. However, there's a few Thursdays in there as well. And so these are full-time. Most of these are full days, not quite all of them. There's a couple that are half days, but they do require that commitment of you being there in person. And so you being the owner or co-owner of your business, you have to commit to being there. Next slide. So the outcome is you walk away with a growth plan, which is strategic, and it's a roadmap for you to guide your business toward a specific growth opportunity. It could be a new kind of line of business you want to do. I know in Lamonda's case that was part of it, but also like expanding into a new location. So, and all of that course material ties directly to your business and to your growth plan. And then you'll have an implementation plan too. So, and I talked to a lot of alum that say they still pull. Actually, I was visiting one the other day, an alum, and she pulled hers out. She's like, I was just looking at this the other day because I wanted to start a new line of business. And I was like, well, even though this isn't what I worked on in my growth plan, all this is applicable. She could then apply it to what she was looking to do. And then Oh, I don't know why that's in there twice. Oh, okay. Sorry. So this shows some of the impact. I think the biggest thing is you can see this revenue growth at 6 months, 18 months, 30 months. This is all, Goldman is really big into collecting data. So this is one thing you will do if you're in the cohort, you do a baseline of where you're at when you start the cohort. And then at 6 months, you'll get a follow-up saying, where are you at now? 18 months, 30 months. And this is all data from that. And so you can kind of see particularly the job growth, or sorry, the revenue growth, but the job growth too. The majority of businesses at 30 months have increased jobs and definitely increased their revenue. And a lot of people, I just talked to someone the other day and she's like, in 6 months, I've already increased my revenue quite a bit by just implementing the growth plan. So it has a meaningful impact for sure. And we love this statistic. 85% of our program graduates do business together. I'll talk a little bit about the alumni part in a minute, but in essence, once you graduate, you become part of the local alumni network, which is about 145 in Cincinnati. And then you also get connected to the broader alumni network, and you basically get it's called 10KSB Connect, but they have a LinkedIn for alumni. And there's about 17,000 alumni on that. So that's a really cool thing too, because you get connected a lot of people as you can see, doing business with each other. In fact, the other day, there's a sign guy in our last cohort, and he started making signs for all the alum. And I was with one of our alum yesterday. She has a new building. Her name's Emma. And she's like, I can't get Joe to finish my sign because all of the whole cohort, I guess a lot of people were asking for signs from him. So it's just an example that people really do business with each other. Next slide. And then, yeah, so what to expect, our commitment is you get that full scholarship. So it's not direct money to you. Some people ask that, but it's worth a lot because you're not having to pay anything out of pocket. And then again, just all the stuff I just touched on, pathways to capital, local national alumni network, skills, etc. And again, your participation, I just kind of emphasize those again, but you really need to want to be in a peer-to-peer collaborative environment. I will say a lot of people say that's one of their favorite parts about the program is the people they meet, and then it can feel so alone when you're doing a business. And so just to be with other entrepreneurs it's a great model. And just that there is some homework you'll have to do outside of class, but again, it's all around your growth plan and it's all pertaining to your business. So it's not like your high school homework where you're like, why am I doing this? Like you'll know why you're doing this because it's for your business to help it grow. And then I mentioned, yeah, you do have to commit to doing the evaluation surveys, those 3 after you graduate. And then, okay, so our selection criteria is you have to be either the owner or co-owner of a business. So at least 50% owner, been in operation for at least 2 years, and that would be from January 2026. So when the cohort starts. You have to have annual revenue of your last annual revenue has to be above 75,000. That's gross, not net. So that's 75,000 in sales. Have at least 2 full-time equivalent employees, which one can include yourself. They can be a couple of part-time employees. They can even be 1099 employees. So the goal is to really be that you have people in place that when you step away from your business, it doesn't completely fall apart. You may think it will, but the goal is for you to have people there that you can be really present when you're there in class. And then, of course, your desire to grow and create jobs, which I'm sure all of you do have that desire. Next slide. And then the overview of the application, our part 1, which takes about 5 minutes, that's the link there. It just is a broad overview of your business and goals. Vanessa and I will receive that. And Vanessa, then assuming that you qualify with those things that I just told you about, those minimum qualifications, you would then get invited to do the addendum part 2. And that's where you have to pull out some financial documents, balance sheets, etc. And don't worry, some people are like, my documents aren't perfectly in place, and that's okay. One of the reasons to be in this this cohort is to figure out how to do those things better. So Vanessa in particular is here to walk alongside you. If you turn in documents and they're not quite right, she'll work with you to do that. We have templates, etc. And then the idea is and then ultimately once all of that's in, you'll then be scheduled for a 30-minute interview early December, which is just with myself and some other folks that work with the program to kind of get to know you and make sure that you understand the program and are committed to being a part of it. And then, yeah, just the alumni network. I kind of touched on that. We can go to the next slide. This is just what I talked about before. This is James Stocks. He's from our cohort 4. He's great. I mean, you can kind of see he's been in a lot of cohorts, and this is he says this is the one that's helped him grow the most, and he's actually grown quite a bit, and he's referred a lot of other people to the cohort. But I think it's best to hear from our actual alumni who have been through the program. So both Pauline Storms Perkins, who is in cohort 5, so 2024, and then Lamonda Dye, who is in cohort this year, 2025, who just graduated not too long ago, are both here. So I don't, if one of you, Pauline, why don't you start if you want to say a couple things about the program, what it meant for your business, and then Lamonda, and then we'll move to Sheila.
Hey, so good afternoon, everybody. I'm Pauline Storms Perkins. I'm the owner and the founder of Storm Security Services. We are a security guard company that also does background checks, drug screenings, notary, and we also do TSA pre-check enrollment as well. I did this program, let's say it was last year, and it was probably one of the best programs I did. I've done a couple of other business development programs, and they just helped to build up to this one. I know I went through my first one, and that was like laying my foundation, but this one was the one that was kind of the creme de la creme. And it presented a lot of different aspects I hadn't thought about my business before, coming to this program, such as, my business plan and, being able to really think outside the box, because a lot of times as small business owners, we wear a lot of hats, and sometimes we need other people to be able to chime in on some of the ideas and the things that are going on in our business. And this was definitely one of them. It was also wonderful being able to stressful and wonderful, being able to step away from your business and to be able to dive right on in to this program, because it was a full day experience. So you had no choice. And it's like, how often do we get that opportunity to do that, And at the same time, I was working on a film. So I was working on a film, and then and I don't think a lot of people knew that. And sometimes we have to do that. Like my office was running, and then I was working on a film, and then I would come and do this on Fridays. And I think I told somebody at the end, I was like, I'm still working a little bit. So it was trying to balance all three of those. But this program helped to take me to the next level, and also think about the things that I wanted to introduce, whether or not it will be beneficial, and how to really calculate those types of moves. And the relationships that you make are very long lasting, and everybody understands. So when I say, this is how I feel, people can relate. And sometimes when you have friends that aren't entrepreneurs or have their own businesses, they just kind of look at you like, oh, okay. And I'm like, well, I can tell you don't understand. So this was definitely the best, probably, business development program I've been through.
Awesome. Thanks, Pauline.
Mhm.
Lamonda?
I almost just want to say ditto. So I'm Lamonda Dye. I'm the owner and CEO of LCD Agency Services, and we provide supportive services to patients, providers, and professionals. My two takeaways from the program that I like to share with people is one that Pauline already kind of addressed. I've been through other business development programs, and I consider myself to be pretty seasoned. I've been in business 15 years, so I've gone through maybe two or three already. But when I got to Goldman Sachs, well, let's go back a little bit. When I was in those other programs, I kind of, skated through them. It was like, yeah, I know this, but I'll pick up a few gems here or whatever. But when I got to Goldman Sachs, I really had to do my homework. Like I really had to, take time and put thought, into my homework. And it really made me look at my business differently. I felt like I had a pretty good grasp of my business, of course, being in business 15 years, but there were some areas that were loose that Goldman Sachs showed me where I needed to tighten it up. So wanted to share that. And the other thing is, not taking business development programs, for granted, right? That's what Goldman Sachs also showed me. It's like, even though I attended the other ones, it was kind of like a build upon, right? So you learn something every time you attend another business development program. And I had to remember and realize, and I share with people, this is all a part of you not just developing your business, but developing you as an entrepreneur, and that's just as equally important. um,
But yes, program definitely helped me fully develop the last arm of or leg of my business, which is the testing and training services. I had absolutely no idea which way I wanted to go with it. So now I do. And then it also made me feel more confident about expanding to another city. We already had an office in Dayton, but to me, that's really not out of town for me because it's like up the street from Hamilton. But going to Columbus, that was huge for me. And definitely, the program definitely helped me think about that process as far as, where I wanted to be, location, how much it was going to, cost me, what was my staff going to look like. And there's a place in the program where we talk about work culture. That became important to me. I was like, ooh, what kind of work culture do we want to have in Columbus? The same as we have here, but it made me think about all those things that I would not have thought about before. So yeah, bragging about Goldman Sachs, just like I always brag about WeBank. I'm glad these two
Yeah.
have kind of merged together.
Yeah, Weavek has been such a great partner. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you guys so much. And so I want to turn over to Sheila Mixon, who again, a lot of you know, and she is, as I said before, our business advisor. That's the one that's based here in Cincinnati. So Sheila, I'll turn it over to you to say a few things, whatever you want to say about the program.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Um, I've been involved with the Goldman Sachs program since 2012. So I came into the program at Cincinnati State knowing all about the program. And I've probably referred about 65 to 70 people to the program, either the national program or the ones at the community college. Our role as business advisors are to assist you in walking through your growth plan and to challenge you in what you're doing to make sure that it makes sense. And we're that ear that we're listening to what you're saying and then repeating that back to you to make sure that's really and truly what you meant. And part of our role is you get a list of what we're not as part of the program, but what we are is a resource for you. We bring between myself and the other BA, we cover Cincinnati, Sinclair, and Columbus State. So JM is based at Columbus State. I'm here in Cincinnati State, and we share Sinclair. And so we're actually graduating the Sinclair class this week. But the great thing about the program, it really and truly makes you think differently about how you want to grow your business because you can't grow it organically anymore. You have to look at different ways in which to do that. And we're there to kind of help you think through what those options are. You might come in with 3 or 4 different types of opportunities. We want you to focus on one because you can always go back after the class and implement something else that's come to mind. Because the template that we use really and truly does walk you through every aspect of your business. And for me, it's about making sure that you are committed to the process. And we tell you trust the process. And what ends up happening, myself and the other BA, we sit down and figure out who's going into which growth groups. It takes a lot of time for us to come up with the matches across industries, personalities, revenue, employee, you name it. We put a lot of thought into putting those growth groups together. And the nice thing, as Sarah has shared, is you want to treat your growth group as your unofficial board of advisors because they're there to help you think through some of your thoughts. Because again, everyone thinks that they're alone out there on on their entrepreneurial journey, but you're not. The peer-to-peer learning is so key to the success of the program and for those that have participated. And then what they get out of it when it's over with is that network. And they have a program called 10K Connect, which is 10K's version of LinkedIn, but it is more active than LinkedIn in terms of how they're connecting with each other. And we're talking across the country. And it's really, I know Sarah said 17. We just got the number. It's more, a little over 18,000 that are
Oh,
part of the
wow.
program now.
Okay, I gotta change
And
that.
yeah, it's a little over 18,000. And the big thing to remember, yes, the program is free to you, but you are walking into a 20,000 per person program. So think about that a minute. Costing you nothing. So we want the commitment from the participants that get selected, because the worst thing that could happen is have someone take a seat that could have gone to someone else that really and truly wanted to be part of the program. So, yeah, it's a lot of work. And Sarah said a little homework. No, it's a lot of homework.
Yes, a lot.
It's a lot of homework. And you're spending, in addition to those days that you're spending 8 hours in class working on your business, you're spending an additional, ladies, what you think, 10, 15 hours a week on the homework,
Yeah, for me,
depending
at the
upon what it
least.
is.
Exactly. There were some weeks that I was able to breathe for half a second. Yes. And
Right.
that probably was at 5 hours.
Yeah. And the one thing that we encourage you more than anything, don't get behind, because those 14 weeks go by quicker than what you think. Because what Pauline didn't tell you is that I just said, Pauline, you need to apply for the program. She just looked at me, she said, okay. She didn't know what she was going to get into. I knew she was ready for the program, and I did the same thing to Lamonda. This is your next step. You need to be part of this program.
I
And
need to
so,
add that I hid from Sheila for almost a year because I had other friends that had gone through it and said, Lamonda, you gotta wait, you gotta be ready. So I said I hid from her because I knew it was going to be intense. But at top of the year, I reached out.
She doesn't, she volunteers you. So
There you go.
it's like one of those fairy godmothers that come in and be like, this is your next. I did AABDP, and then she called me and I was like, how does she have my cell number? And then I was like, is this Miss Sheila? And she called like, hello, Pauline.
Right.
Next program you're doing today. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. And I was like,
Yes. And
remember me. And then
that's
after
how
this,
she did me with AABDP. She was like, you're ready for this program. So you need to, I was like, oh, okay, you're right.
But you need people like that so you can help to have that direction, because you have a lot of people, and I see it all the time. You have all these people that do these business development programs, and I be sitting back like, what are you getting? That's the same one as the last one. And so to be able to tell somebody like, no, that's not the program you need to be doing. This one is the one that's going to be more beneficial to you, because you will have program hoppers, and I maybe it's networking. I don't know, or maybe getting a free lunch. I'm not sure, but it was great to be able to have that direction. Like this is your next program, and you were totally right, Miss Sheila.
Yes, you were.
Last one and the one
Yes.
before that. So
Yes.
I'm thankful, very thankful.
and I just want to encourage you. This program is, and Sarah said it, it is I know a lot of business development programs around the country. I know all of them. This one right here is the MBA for entrepreneurs. Absolutely no questions asked. But it takes commitment from you to want to first grow your business and be open to the suggestions and having those real conversations with your growth groups and with the cohort as a whole. And it really and truly does make a difference in your business when you're doing it. And you will know some of the individuals that have gone through the program. Sarah or Vanessa can tell you some of the ones that's been through it, and you can ask them what it was. Kathy Linderman, I'll tell you this, for those of you who know Kathy Linderman, yes, I recommended her for the program too, but it wasn't in person. She went through the national program where it was online, and then they spent a couple weeks up in Massachusetts at Babson. Kathy said every week she was cussing me out as she was going through the program, but she was so glad that she went through it. And so it really and truly will amplify your business and be able to put 10K alum on your signature line on your email address lets other businesses and corporations know that you have gone through this program and you're ready for larger opportunities that are out there. So I'll shut up because I think I went past 5 minutes.
No, it's great. We wanted to leave it for you. Thank you, Sheila, Lamonda, Pauline. Vanessa, do you want to add anything before we open it up for question and answers?
I'm just gonna say that you guys are not alone here. If you feel that I saw a comment that she feel that she's not right now ready. And what I can say is I'm a certified business advisor here. So you have someone that can help you along the way while you are like it might be not this year, but it might be the next year. Lamonda one time told me like I was not ready this year, but this was my year. So you will know when it's the right time for you and that you are ready to commit for this experience. So I'm here to support you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, to call, or email me. I'm here to help you.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Mhm.
So with that, do any of you that are on here have any specific questions right now for any of us? Yeah, Ray?
Yep. So I meet all of the requirements, but I just had a question about the employee requirement. So I
Yeah.
currently have a part-time worker, and then I also have several 1099 contractors. So does that meet the requirement?
Yep, it does. So
Okay.
as long as the 1099 workers, however you cobble together the hours would make another half employee, which it sounds like they probably would, then you have those another full-time equivalent. Does that make sense? And then you're yeah. So yes, that's awesome. What's your business?
So I'm a photographer. I do event photography, and then I also do corporate headshots and personal branding for female entrepreneurs.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions? Oh,
There is
I
a
see
question on the
Lucretia. Yeah,
chat.
sorry, I see Lucretia. Yeah.
Hi, it's Lucretia Williams, President and CEO of Distinct Event Planning. We're an event planning, event design firm located here in Columbus, Ohio. My question is, I'm currently in the BDP program for Victoria's Secret, and it has been a lot. I'm still implementing a lot of the things that we've learned since February, and I just kind of feel just kind of how my brain works, if having a little bit of OCD and a little ADD, that I'm not sure if this is the right time for me, but I'm okay with being talked into it. My thing is, we do have our last session this month, and at that point it's going to be super go time for me. We're in the thick of event season right now, with events kind of left and right, and I know my team has been holding it down, but I don't want to be away from them that much longer. But I'm open to hearing feedback for those who may have joined this program right off the cusp of ending another BDP or another some form of program like that, and how was that for you in regards to your time management? Does that make sense?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Let me
Lucretia,
start and then
sorry, go ahead.
let me start and then because both of them almost came, well, not Lamonda because she was in the earlier BDP program. Um, but Lucretia, because you're based in Columbus, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So coming off of this program, yes, you do have to give yourself a little time to breathe
Mm-hmm.
because BDP is your stepping stone to the next thing,
Okay.
to Goldman Sachs. Okay. And because BDP is so, um, it makes you think different. You spend 7 weeks, right? I mean, 7 months
Mm-hmm.
in the program, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to digest what you've learned there,
Yes.
and then Goldman Sachs is the next thing. Because you're based in Columbus, you can apply for the Columbus cohort that starts in the fall. So they won't start recruiting until early next summer, spring. So you can take that breather and
Mhm.
then apply for the Columbus cohort. Or if you want to, just like we would like to have as many people in Cincinnati as possible in the Cincinnati State one. But if those dates don't work for you, Sinclair is close as well. So you could apply for the Sinclair cohort because we cover all of Southwest Ohio. But anytime you're coming out of a program, you need to take a breather before you do the next thing.
Thank you. I needed that. Thank you.
Thanks,
You
Sheila.
do.
I think
Anyone else?
that's advice.
There,
Because you need time to be able to digest what it exactly you just learned and put forth. And like I said, you have a lot of people who program hop and then you're just really wondering like, how does this benefit me if this one was just like the last one, unless you are have some other ulterior motive. But take the time to just digest it, especially because you've invested your time and your time is money. So I'm gonna say time and money into the program. So yeah, I agree with you, Miss Sheila.
Mhm.
And
Thank
the
you, ladies.
just so you guys know, our program runs January through April, and then Sinclair's runs basically May through September. Well, actually now August.
August.
Sorry, May through August, and
Don't
then
give me another
Columbus.
month.
Yeah. Sorry,
there is
we
a
got to start Columbus, and then Columbus goes from September through like beginning of December, I think, right?
It's the first, yeah, we finished the first week of December.
So that's just kind of for you guys to know. You can apply to any of them, but it depends where you're based. Ray, where are you based?
I'm based in Columbus.
You're in Columbus, and then Dominique or Latoya, where are you guys based?
Cincinnati.
Okay.
I'm in Cincinnati as well.
You're in Cincinnati as well. Okay, yeah. So again, that just gives you guys different choices. You can go to any of them, and some of it is dependent on timing. Like we have had people from Columbus come to Cincinnati or to, from Dayton. Last year, actually, we had 2 Dayton people come. So it just kind of depends on timing for you guys as a business too.
There is a question on the chat that I think it will be better to hear from Pauline, Lamanda, or Sheila. Dominic and also Latoya ask, what advice will you give someone like myself whose income is not 75,000 that wants to do this program because I feel like it will help me with a plan to reach my goals?
My recommendation to you, Dominique, is to check out 10,000 small um,
Black women
Black
The Black
women,
women?
yeah,
business.
Black
Okay.
women in business because they focus on those that are really and truly under. Let me just be real, okay? If you're making gross under $100,000, this program really and truly isn't for you. You're not ready for it. It really should be. They reduced the requirement because when COVID happened and they knew they were going to have to go online, they wanted to make sure that they had people on video. The truth of the matter is, we see people that come into the program that are at 75,000 and they get lost in the program because it really and truly is. And Pauline and Lamonda, you can attest to this because we know that some people, it's just not right for them at this point at that 75, because you're just starting to get your feet wet in entrepreneurship. And even if you've been in business for a while, you're not ready to move from one stage to actually become an entrepreneur or an enterprise, a business enterprise. That's what I'm trying to say. But you can apply for the Black Women in Business program that Goldman Sachs offers. And they do that a couple times a year. Vanessa, if you can go in and pull the link down to put that in there so they know it. Okay.
Do
It's
you
already
know,
there.
off the hand, what type of businesses are like in this cohort? Because I'm a nail technician.
All
So,
business, all
so
businesses. They don't discriminate against industry.
okay.
It's all industries are invited to participate in both of those programs.
Yeah,
And
we
that's
had,
one of the good parts about, oh, sorry, Amanda.
That wasn't me.
that was me.
Oh,
But no, I was just gonna say last time we had like a couple beauty related businesses in our cohort. So yeah.
Yeah, I was referred by a few people that were in the beauty industry
Yeah.
for this program because they said it helped them reach, you know what I'm saying, reach certain goals that I'm trying to reach, especially by me trying to build more revenue and stuff because I'm trying to add new services, but that's the only requirement I don't meet for a lot of these bigger platforms is the income requirement, but I have everything else.
So the
Dominique, I
Black in
say
Business
don't,
program is ideal for you. It really and truly is ideal for you.
and I would just say,
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
that's okay. Sorry, we were talking at the same time. Go ahead, Sheila.
I said, Dominique, the Black in Business is at Black Women in Business program with Goldman Sachs is ideal for you because it's going to help you really and truly get your head around being an entrepreneur, learning the things that you need to do to increase your revenue so that in a couple years, you very well could be ready for the big boys, 10,000 small business. But you need to give yourself time. Don't try to rush it because
Mhm.
when you rush it, you get frustrated and you'll want to drop out. And I'll reiterate this again. When you take a seat and you're not ready, you've taken a seat from someone that really could have used the program. So you have to think long and hard about, am I ready now or do I need to wait 2, 3 years down the road before I do this? Lamonda.
I was just going to say, pretty much what Sheila said, but take time to implement the things that you've learned from the other programs so that it does help you get to the point where you can graduate to the larger programs, and don't be in a rush to do so. Sometimes, it just takes a little bit longer. Like I said, I've taken 2 or 3 other, I can't even remember how many business development classes I've taken, but they've been anywhere between 3 to 5 years apiece. And when I came to Goldman Sachs, I had not taken a business development class in almost 8 years. So it was time. And it was very hard for me to sit, and be in a class, situation. So don't rush it at all. Take those extra steps you need and implement the things that you are learning from all the other business development classes. You'll get there.
Yeah.
I say the same. And one thing I really liked about this program is the diversity of the businesses as well.
Yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
you'll see, like what Dominique, you said you have a beauty business, and I've been in classes or I've been even at pitches, and sometimes people are trying to figure out like, how do I fit in here? And it's like, well, we're all businesses, so we can still apply the things that we're learning to our businesses, although they're very diverse. So you'll find the beauty industry, you're going to find catering, you're going to find home health care, you're going to find professional services, and you're able to collaborate, get manufacturing, and then you're going to also find consulting, So sometimes you won't feel alone because it's the diversity of the different kinds of businesses. Now, it might be some more similar ones than the others, but it's still going to be diverse. And that's what I like a lot about it, because you could go to somebody who is just really stuck and just like, well, I don't necessarily fit the mold. And then your peers are able to be like, well, let's help you think outside of the box with this. And so like with this this informational panel that we're having now, I'm like, this is like one of the best kept secrets. And you kind of tell people about it and they don't understand until you get in it. But you're being given all this education that typically you would have to pay for, you know, if you went to go to school to get your degree in a fraction of the time. So it's definitely worth it.
Right. Because you're getting in 14 weeks what a lot of people spend 2 years getting their MBA in, literally. And Sarah mentioned the negotiations workshop. Maury will tell you what she teaches in 4 hours, it takes her a whole quarter to do with her students. But she is incredible. All the instructors are good. There are office hours after each session. And at the end of the day, if you get out of anything what you're willing to put in it, if you put nothing, now we have had conversations with scholars about whether or not they need to stay in the program because we can see that they're falling behind. And then it's a matter of them making the decision to either stay or go. We want them to stay, but if it's too much, we would rather them come back another time, but knowing that when you're coming into the program, you need to be committed because you can only miss 2 classes. And if you miss one, you miss a lot in that one class.
You do, because I did. And I regretted every moment of it.
Don't let it be financials week either, because I think
It was.
I was like, I think this is what I needed.
You should have seen me doggy pedaling trying to get out.
Throw me a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Goldman Sachs is heavy on the financials. So when you walk out, you don't have to be an accountant, but you will know what to look at in terms of your financials because you can't grow without knowing your numbers. You just can't.
Oh, my last thing, and I'll add in here. Sometimes you do programs or you'll consult with people and then they ain't never had no business. And I'll be like, I'm scratching your head. And you're like, well, how can you? That's like being at a pitch and the judges are people who ain't never pitched in their lives. And I'll be sitting there like, how you gonna tell me to do something you ain't never did yourself?
They got a
So
checklist.
one of the great things about Goldman Sachs too is that they would bring in these different people who actually have the experience. So you're not just getting somebody who's just somebody's friend, you know, but someone who actually has all the acumen behind them as well. Because it's nothing like getting information from somebody who's never experienced it. Not to say you can't, but it just hits differently.
Right. Because they will tell you, some of the instructors will tell you, particularly on the financial piece, we usually have we have at least one scholar every class that will cry.
At the end, that was me in my car on my dashboard, like, let me try to get through this. I only got addition and subtraction. Oh no.
But it's really, you will enjoy the camaraderie of the cohort.
Yeah.
Because again, it's that peer-to-peer learning. And while it's a lot of information, that's where your growth group is there to support you, to support what you've missed or support what what you're not clear on. And then you have us, the business advisors, are there, and we're there every class. And we're there to kind of help walk you through the program. So don't be afraid to ask questions, because if you don't know it, you don't know it, and you won't know it unless you ask.
I also feel like everyone, instructors, the BAs, just everyone that was associated with the program made me feel like they were just as invested in my business as I was. And as an entrepreneur, for me, that is very important, you know. And of course, you know, like I said, I've been in other programs and I can't say I've always felt that way, you know. So you won't ever feel alone. no matter what, no matter, even if it is the financials and you're wanting to pull out your hair. They really have a great program where everybody knows their stuff, so they can just kind of wrap around you, and help you through it, and help you process, because there will be a time that you'll feel like you need to do that. So I think that's, I don't know, one of the
You guys
great
were
things
great.
about the
Oh my
program.
gosh. Thank you guys so much for you did a lot. Like hopefully those of you who are here that didn't know as much about the program, you guys are walking away with a lot of good information. And I know we're almost at time, and Dr. K has a few things to wrap up, but I just, want to say you'll have our contact information, reach out to us if you have any other questions. And hopefully all of you will be able to participate at some point. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much,
Thank
ladies. This has
you.
really, really been great. Really great information. And I hate it to have to come back on camera because I'm just like, you guys can go all day and all night long. But I think that's a testament to the value in the program. I appreciate, all of your honesty. And your experience and what works and what doesn't works, and like you said, don't get behind, and things like that. So I think, if nothing else, even though the attendees who may be here today or watching this later in the video, regardless of whether they're ready right now, I think this is giving them some really great information, so then that way they can prepare and they know what their next step is, when they are ready, right? And so you talked about a couple of other programs. We of course have our business development program as well. And like you said, it's really about those stepping stones, and making sure that you're in the right seat, right? Like, so I always say that it's not only important to be in the right seat, but it's also be in the right seat at the right time, going in the right direction. And so you don't want to jump on every single bus that drives by you. You want to make sure that you're hopping on the bus that actually is going to take you to the mall, because that's where you're planning on going. So thank you again to all of you for your time today. I want to wrap up with just a couple of things. I always like to talk about some of the upcoming events that we have coming at WeBEC ORV. And so if you are not a certified WBE, but I believe everyone on here may be, we do have our Becoming a Certified WBE webinar on this Thursday, which is the 7th, which is where you have the opportunity to learn all about the WeBank certification that we offer. We also have a session coming up on August 20th for our Women of Color that shares about the certification process, and you have a chance to hear from two women of color, kind of sharing just like this experience today, but sharing about their experience, why they got certified, and how their certification has truly helped level them up within their business. And then of course, August 25th through the 27th is Catch the Wave, which is our annual conference. This year we are going to be in Cleveland. If you are interested in attending, I will tell you that registration closes on this Friday, which is August 8th. If you do have a financial need, we do have a limited number of scholarships still available. The deadline to apply for that scholarship is tomorrow. So I will drop my email address into the chat. If you happen to need that or know somebody that happens to need that, please have them send me an email and we can get them that scholarship application. And then looking at September, it's crazy to think about the fact that we are in the fall now. I'm kind of sad about that. But for our certified WBEs, we do have our Doing Business with Serta Metro. And so that's a chance to come and meet with one of our corporate partners, which is Serta Metro, and learn about all that they do, and also learn how to navigate their system, learn about different opportunities that they may have and things of that nature. All of our WBEs should have a capability statement. Even if you're not certified, you should have a capability statement. If you don't know what a capability statement is, or you need help with creating your capability statement, then you need to be at this webinar on September 23rd. And it's a free webinar, and it's a chance for you to learn how to develop your capability statement. And then September 24th is one of our last doing business sessions with our corporates, and that's Doing Business with Quanta. Let's see. We already talked about Catch the Wave. Did I hear a question? Nope. Okay. Then the last thing I would say is if you could take a moment, if you are not watching this on your phone, and pull out your phone, scan this QR code, and fill out our brief survey for us. It just gives us a chance to get your feedback to learn how to make our webinars even better. If you do happen to be on your phone while you're watching this, don't worry, because you will receive an email. That email will have a link to the presentation from today, the recording from today, as well as a link to the survey, so you'll be able to fill it out at that time. Does anybody have any final thoughts or final questions at all?
Thanks everyone for coming.
Yep, hearing none. Thank you so much for coming, and enjoy the rest of your day.